Says I'm live. Hey everybody, Rob here. You just missed all the excitement. I just got done blowing into my little breathalyzer here. I got into some issues here a couple days back, and instead of the judge giving me a nominal bond where I could bail out like a normal human being, they want to connect you to this and charge you $15 a day for it. If this isn't cruel and unusual punishment before I ever been convicted of a crime, then I really don't know what is. But anyways, we need to talk about some things. There's a lot of BS going on around the planet right now. The train derailments, the Hawaii fire, Trump's indictments. It's getting really interesting out there. By the way, I think I'm on my 10th day, 11th day, complete sobriety, which is pretty cool. But hopefully we get some people in here real quick. I doubt it's going to happen because FTube and Google and Facebook and all the social media platforms are pretty much suppressing and shadow banning anything I have to say. Meanwhile, Pennsylvania State Police, the judicial system, and all the F-tards working for it, making me out to be some kind of monster. Which anything could be further from the truth. Let's see. Let's see what happens here. Anybody out there? Can you all hear me fine? I think it's recording. But anyways, I don't. Hopefully, somebody out there wants to talk to me or wants to hear what I have to say. I should hope so. I believe I've done a pretty good job explaining to you all so far what the real dealio is behind the scenes of what these so-called politician puppets are creating for our world. I really felt the urge to do this because I do believe my life's in danger. I do believe I'm being heavily manipulated and shadow banned. I do believe the last incident that I got involved with was another electronic attack. So hopefully somebody's out there. Well, first and foremost, I guess we better get a little background established about my visit to this planet this time around. From the very early ages that I can remember, I've always been just, let's say, out of sync with the general population. It's mind-boggling to me how the senses that I have are able to pick up on other people's frequencies and attentions and vibrations. Very empathic I am. And I've had some pretty wild experiences with leaving my body and seeing what's going on the other side. trying to explain this to you all without sounding like some kind of freaking nut is going to be very difficult to do, but I guess I got to come up with a plan because I can feel the pressure is really getting on me now. The Freemasons here in Pennsylvania are just mind bogglingly disgusting to me. There's a lot more of them than you think, folks. And the question is, are they part of the tyranny that is taking our country apart piece by piece, destroying our waterways with poison, destroying our air with toxic aluminum, strontium, barium, lithium? I can assure you, if you've ever seen that movie Lucy, where that black goo takes over her body and she ascends into the ether, I can assure you that that stuff is quite real. And I've had it in me, and I've met the so-called God of this planet. We've had a few discussions that weren't so actually nice. It's kind of mind-boggling that I've been live now for I don't know how long. Oh, 6 minutes and 35 seconds, and there's not one person in my chat yet. At least no one's saying anything. I thought I used to be able to see who was in here, but apparently I can't. I first seen my energy back in 19, it was 80 or 81. I was down in Texas in Houston. And the experience I had was absolutely mind boggling. Astral projected out of my pineal gland onto a wall, and I seen the energy that flows around our body, the torsion field, the whole thing. We look kind of like Robbie the Robot. If you need a visual, go back to the '60s and the Robbie the Robot with the ears turning and the big breastplate. That's exactly what our energy field around our bodies look like. And I never knew why that happened to me back then until about, I guess it was 2018, 2019, right before all the BS started. And I had an experience with my two sons and my nephew where I ingested some DMT and the room exploded with energy. And I watched my crown chakra come out of my head, and I watched the atoms spinning around in front of me, and I was standing there or sitting there looking at it. And then my heart chakra jumped out of my chest and joined with it. And I was watching this atom like thing spinning in front of me. And suddenly it dove into my stomach. And I went out and I reached down and I grabbed myself. And next thing I know, I was gone. I shot out of my privates through a wormhole tunnel. And while I was in there, I started to see everybody else's energy. I seen the machine with all our energy running through it. I was about ready to drift into this machine again. I would have liked to know what would have happened if they wouldn't have woke me up and brought me back onto this side. But I was going back in that machine and I wanted to see what the hell it was. But it was the most beautiful, effervescent, best I can describe it is a toaster oven with the golden arches over it with 7 colors of the chakra running through it. And what I thought were solid lines turned out to be individual dots. Because as I drifted forward this thing, I started noticing other dots flying by me. And I was watching them, and they would go down, and they would get into the line of their color: blue, yellow, red, green, whatever the colors of the rainbow or chakra colors. And then I looked a little closer, and I seen that they weren't solid lines; they were lines made up of individual dots that looked like there was a solid line. And then they brought me back to this side where I was glowing like a rainbow, and every hair on my body was at attention. And not long after that, all the commotion out in the front yard got our attention, and we went outside and looked, and right above my house was the biggest rainbow you ever seen in your life. It's absolutely mind-boggling. I made a video about that day, and I posted it on my old channel, and YouTube took it down instantaneously. It didn't see the web for more than 30 seconds because I mentioned them three letters. Long pronunciation is dimethyltryptamine. It's in every molecule. It's on everything in this planet. And your brain produces it in a large quantity when you're going to get shot out of this avatar. 12 minutes and still not one view. And they erased my one. Let me tell you something, folks. There is an evil entity that has control of the grid that holds your higher self. Now, what does that mean? That means that our higher selves in the grid, in the dimension above the fourth dimension, is where your higher self rests and runs this avatar. This is nothing but a meat suit. You ain't this. I ain't this. I am something way more beautiful, special, and powerful than this freaking meat suit. Unfortunately, the entity that has control of this grid right now doesn't want you to know that. And it doesn't want me to tell you that. And you better believe it. That cult, them Freemasons, you think they're going to fight for you when the UN unleashes the NATO troops in here and starts rounding you up and sending you to the FEMA camps? Do you think any of these things are going to fight for you? You better not. You better believe that you're on your own. Unless you have a good neighbor that you can trust and a good squad that you can trust, you better watch yourself because these motherfuckers are vicious. Excuse my French, YouTube. The fires in Hawaii and Maui were absolutely mind-boggling. You better believe that they have directed energy weapons because I've been hit with them. They have ones that shoot plasma, which you noticed lit all the fires in California, lit all the fires in Canada. That firestorm was intentionally created by this entity. I'll let you name it. I'm not even gonna justify that motherfucker by giving him a name. But you better believe it's real. My whole life has been a battle against these Freemasons and this entity. For some reason, I hope it's in the downloads that they gave me because at this point I don't know exactly, other than what they told me. And if what they told me is true, at the moment I have no control of what happened in that grid or what happening in that grid because I was in that grid. I seen my higher self. You better believe that there's a grid holding your higher self above this planet in another dimension. You better believe it because it's true. These entities have our energy captured in there, and now they started the pokey poke, giving everybody my what is that? There's a bunch of cards up between us. My cards between us. Can you get it? Dropping like flies, robots, clones, just popping up. I can't believe it. 15:43 into the video, and I still got no chat. So I am really being shadow banned here, and they don't do that just for crazy people. They let crazy people talk on here all the time. But people who know what the hell's going on and have seen it and experienced it for themselves, why? Why shadow ban me? Why ban me? Why? Why harass me? And my whole life, everywhere I've been sucker punched, I've been stabbed in the back, I've had my jaw broke, I've had my ear bit off, everywhere I go. And I'm telling you what, I never started none of that. I never started any fight with anybody. All I ever did was finish them. My first DUI wasn't even a DUI. I never even drove. I got smacked in the face with a beer mug in a bar. But somehow I was the fucking villain. I'm telling you what, you Freemasonic fucktards, I can't stand none of you motherfuckers. You all make me sick. And the universe, the creator, he's pissed. You fucking double dealing pieces of shit. Hi, Trish. Oh, everybody want to meet my prissy? There's my prissy. Here's my big baby. She's my little alien kitty. She came to me. Somebody dropped her off. She came to my house, and luckily my boy had ferrets and had some cat food, so I stole some of the cat food and give it to her. And she ain't never left me yet. And her and I have had some pretty interesting experiences together. I got some pictures of her. It's pretty mind-boggling. As an energy, it's mind-boggling. But anyways, these fires, the 5G. Now, it is my belief that our energy around these avatars is the same 5G energy that they are starting to beam all across the planet right now. So if that energy matches your energy, imagine that sneaking into you without you knowing it. Imagine someone on the other end having control of your avatar, and you know it, but you're not able to do anything but fight it as hard as you can. But still, this thing wants to make you do and say things that are absolutely mind-boggling, horrific. You could tell if you ever saw the video of the demon I put in the TV. You better know that we're living in a lighthouse, layers upon layers upon layers of light. And from what I've come to understand between me and my higher self and the creator of this universe, is that something has attacked us and invaded our office and has taken control of it. So all these people that you see running around that are going nuts, screaming at each other over stupid shit, they lost control of themselves because the man in the box took control. It's not you anymore. It's not me anymore. I've had this happen to me twice. that I know of. I can I definitely can prove that it's happened to me twice. They've taken control of this body. I've had experiences where I've come in and out of this body. It's mind boggling how when you sink back into here and everything comes back into focus. It's absolutely mind boggling. The technology that I've seen and experienced when I'm hooked to this is absolutely mind boggling. Y'all better believe that we're in a world of hurt right now. This thing has control, and I believe, if you're following Elon Musk and his chip and his transhumanism movement, you better believe they want your energy, they want your soul, they want to put you in a robot other than your free will machine that the creator already gave us. Folks, I've had some horrific experiences. But no matter what they wrote in that so called record jacket of mine, y'all best believe that they got it twisted. They got me looking like some kind of monster. And I never hurt anybody, ever. And I never intentionally set out to hurt anybody, ever. So if you got that in your head, I nothing I can do for you. I outlasted 3 babies, mamas, 3 of which all are dead. They've taken my kids. They took my sons and hid them from me. When the mothers died, they never even notified me that their mothers died to give me an opportunity to take my sons in and nurture them or help them through their grieving with their mother's passing. This system is corrupt. The experience I had at the Butler County courthouse the other day with the probation, you Nazis make me sick. It's disgusting. You people think you can just tell anybody what to do and they're going to jump? There is a constitution in this planet, a universal law, and not to mention the U.S. Constitution, which you people don't even seem to recognize anymore. I won't be violated like this. This thing is a clear violation of my 8th Amendment, and I don't care what none of you pit rattlers say. You vipers, you make me sick. Don't worry. I know for a fact everything you said, seen, and done is recorded in a chip in your brain, and they can watch it. If they couldn't, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now, and I guarantee you that. If I was a bad man like you say I am, then I would not be here and I would not be able to tell you what I've experienced. Now, y'all want to just ignore me like I'm some kind of puppet. Well, this puppet ain't fucking playing no more. I'm fucking sick and tired of this shit. Your harassment, the clear violations on humanity that you've committed. Fauci, Klaus, I'm not having it. Period. My higher self came out of that grid and landed in me that morning. Happy. Now, I'm just waiting. I go outside every night, and when I can see the stars, I'll pick every one of them out, and I don't even have to speak a word. I can just think it in my head. I'll just say dance for me in my head, and it'll start bouncing around in front of me. I got the Royal Guard watching me. So I know that any attacks on me are going to come in the 3D. So none of, I'm not even going to tell his name, but I beg you, please come here. Please come and start something. Please. I'm so disgusted with this whole planet. It makes me sick. You're God. You have God in you. And you want to be. Listen, folks. When everything that I love, what they told me when they dropped that first download on me blew my mind. I never had a clue. So my whole life, all the attacks, everything that happened was because they knew who I was. And they did not want me to make this speech. Everything that's happened in my life to me over the years. Now listen, I am no saint. Trust me, I've made a lot of bad decisions, and I've done some fucked up shit that I am not proud of. But I would never hurt a child. I would never ever start a fight for no reason whatsoever. And I would never lie about it. Most of my family are two-faced, backstabbing liars. Every freaking one of them. I can't stand none of you. You make me sick. You protected that monster. Made me look like a bad man and a crazy fucking nut in the fucking family when he was the fucking evilest motherfucker that ever walked the fucking planet. Fucking beat me and my mother and my brother and sister. He fucking gambled everything a fucking way we ever had. Fucking drunk. Just like his father. Fucking drunk. This whole family. I'm not carrying your burdens no more. I'm done with you. Fuck you. I'm not gonna fucking be a part of that shit. I don't know which one of you motherfuckers put that last spell on me, but I think it was you, Janice. I really think it was you. Janice or Carol. One of you two did it. I only had 6 beers that day, and that was all over the course of the whole day. And then we went, and I had 2 beers at the bar and some chicken wings. So when I ate, I know I felt better coming home. But as soon as we got back here, boom, I went blank and saw red. Coincidence? I think not. I quit drinking. I ain't fucking done no drinking for a long time. I have a few here and there when I'm golfing with my kid. This is all, I'm telling you, folks, they did, everything's coming to a point. I believe that we're living in a matrix. Everything's layer upon layer upon layer upon layer of light. And that's what I've seen when I collected that demon in that TV. When I saged my house that night, I knew I was going to meet him. They're poisoning us. They're burning us out of our homes. They're taking our property. They're creating a one world nightmare, if you ask me. All the farmers trying to take your land. Put more regulations where you can't sell your produce. Putting more taxes on your food. How much is enough? When's enough enough? When? What do you want me to do? I'm standing right now. I'm trying to start something. But none of you don't realize exactly how many of them motherfuckers there really are. And if you ever seen one of them morph, then you'd be fucking terrified of what's coming. They're not human. There's a bunch of different species running around in these meat suits. Once you go through that machine, you come in your mother's womb. Or they have another way around that, which are putting all these entities in these bodies running around. Hey, What kind of a monster could walk into a school and shoot children? That's not a mental illness. That's not mental. That is a demon. That is something that was placed in that shell to commit that crime. And I don't care what anybody says. You think you could be that evil to walk into a school and shoot children, or just walk up to a motherfucker and put a bullet in his head for no reason at all? I'm telling you, they come in and out of these bodies. I've watched them come in and out of me. There's energy sucking vampires sucking on you constantly, 24/7. I've experienced the most mind-boggling technology that you could ever imagine. When they pulled this tooth out of my mouth right here, there was the dentist who did it put a listening device in there. There was a wire left in there when that tooth cracked and broke out of my mouth. There was a wire up in my gum. When they first came, and this story here is mind-boggling. I was listening to a higher self portal video about 5 years ago. I was living with my son and his daughter, or his son and his my son and his girlfriend. And I was listening to a video, and I just happened to have some of that dimethyltryptamine, and I answered it. The Pleiadians put out a message saying that if anybody wanted to leave their body at night and come to the ships to get recalibrated and recharged, that they would offer them to do that. Well, lo and behold, big me, I said, "Oh yes, please come." Blah blah blah. Well, 45 minutes later, my bedroom door swings open, and in comes two AI. Best I can explain them is they were two. They looked like stick men with no heads, and they were all energy. And when they touched you, it felt like a feather touching you with a slight energetic spark to it. Well, anyways, they escorted me outside, and as soon as I walked out the front door, a light hit me, and I went completely translucent. I went into holographic mode, and this thing come down and pulled that wire right out of my teeth, and I went right back to flesh instantaneously. And they pushed me down off the porch into the yard, and I laid in the yard, and I watched the ship fly over top of me, and a beam of light came out and hit me right in my lower DNA, right in my lower chakra. And a beam of light went straight back up out of me. And that ship took off, and all I could do was roll over and cry like a baby. Right then and there, everything that's happened to me my whole life was justified and brought to life because it was real. Hold on one moment, folks. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, folks. Nature calls. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, men and women of planet Earth, listen to me right now. And you better listen hard. We are not alone in this universe. There's many, 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 many different kind of beings. I've seen what the other side looks like. There's no pearly gates. Hi, little wing. Thank you, sweetie. I love you too. I really do. It's long overdue that I addressed you all. My main fear about me exposing myself to what they've told me and showed me was like I'm Jim Carrey in that movie where everybody's watching me, and you know it's going to be like, bam, the joke's on you. We've been watching you. When were you going to finally admit that we are what we are, or what, you know what I mean? That was my biggest fear, because I did not want to be ridiculed and laughed at because I'm speaking this truth. I thought everybody else might have already known and was just teaching me, and was wondering, when the hell are you going to wake up and speak? I was scared shitless. I'm telling you all of that right now. Absolutely. We do got a lot of work to do. That is for sure. I can't even begin to tell you the kind of technology that I've seen and experienced here is it's mind boggling. I mean, if you don't believe me, just come and pitch a tent in my yard over here, and I'll sit out. We'll light a fire. I don't drink anymore, but I used to. We could have a few drinks or whatever, but I don't drink anymore. So we could just sit up and maybe do some meditation, have some good conversation, and I'll show you. They'll come. I've been trying to get them to land, but apparently they're not going to do that until I make action. I got to take action. So here's my action. I'm letting y'all know that what I've been telling y'all is no joke, and I ain't fucking crazy. This literally happened to me, and it's happening to you. And these things are not going to be happy until they kill the planet, take every living thing that makes it a spark, and kill it by putting it in something not created by the universe. I just don't know how else to. Something created by a vile and hateful person. I don't even want to. I can't even be a part of that. I've done some fucked up shit, man. Trust me. I talk about a freak. Yeah, no doubt about it. I'm not proud of a lot of shit I did, but I telling you what, I never did anything like they said I did. I couldn't do it, and I don't know why she lied. That, like I said, the power is very. Yay! Awesome little wing. We got some cloud cover here today. It's been kind of crappy for the last 2 days. It's a lot of showers off and on here. It's not no good for my garden, because it's making everything, just all the tomatoes are bursting. So it's a daily job keeping my garden plucked and cleaned. But the sun is breaking through. The one in me is definitely breaking through. I got to tell you, the energy running through you is a divine creation. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The universe, the creator, is in you. These beings have learned how to manipulate that energy. And there's an all out war on your soul right now and this planet. So all I can say is I'm ready to do whatever needs to be done. I don't have any kind of resources. I'm completely broke. I can't even get a job in this town. I am so blacklisted here. It's disgusting. I mean, I got these Freemasons, these truckers. They try to run me off the road. They throw fucking rocks at my windshield, and even coming down the Parkway or anything around here, the Freemasons will see my truck. Everybody knows who I am. I can't walk into an establishment around this place without everybody knowing who I am. I just try to play stupid and just go about my day try to drop hints here and there. I always start conversations with people in the grocery line. I'm not a monster, but I'm being treated like one, and and displayed as one for ill-gotten gains. Not only my family in this 3D turn out to be despicable human beings, but the family on the other side, the energy, all they want is power and control. They'll do anything to get it. You better believe it. I'll tell you a little story about my son William and I. Willie grabbed me one day and he had he had 6 hits. 6 hits of some really good paper acid. It was the middle of a sheet of, I think it was Darth Vader. And we each ate 2 hits and want to go golfing. Well, that wasn't happening. Soon, the whole golf course turned into a big giant green marshmallow, and we had to boot scoot boogie the hell out of there. But we got home that day, made it safe and sound, and Willie and I was on in the room there bullshitting, and I was laying on the bed and I closed my eyes, and when I did, I started talking to the Creator, and it became visible to me. And I'm sitting there talking, watching this thing dance. We were listening to Bass Nectar. We dropped Bass in Your Face. And Billy said to me, he said, Dad, he says, I really want to make music so much, so bad with you. He says, when's this going to start? And I looked at him and I said, well, I guess it'll start as soon as you take your first step forward, Bill. I said, take your first step forward, and then that puts your manifestation into motion. And I continued my conversation, and he's like, Dad, what's the future going to be like if we do this? And I said to Creator, I said, could you show him? And it reached a tentacle out. And it looked like, it seemed like it was so far away, but the tentacle just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it touched my tongue. And as soon as it touched my tongue, the freaking room exploded like you would not fucking believe. And this giant black hole opened up in the room. And all I could say was, it looked like this. See how that's flashing by like that? That's what it looked like. And this thing sucked my kid back into it. It sucked Billy into this thing. And I watched him, and he started shuddering just like the film projector would. It was mind-boggling. I reached out and grabbed him and was holding on to him. I'm like, Willie, where are you going? And I watched his head went back, his eyes rolled up in his head, and his hands went out like this, and his fingers started like this, making a clicking sound. And I seen him shoot out of his body, and he went into that wormhole. And I was there holding his body, and I was screaming, Willie, come back, Willie, come back, Willie, come back. Well, it was probably, I don't know, a minute. It seemed like eternity when I was holding him down. It took everything I had to hold him from flying into that thing. And when he came back to his body, the tunnel shut, and I grabbed him, and we fell back out of the room. And then when he came back, he wasn't. It was Billy's body, but Billy was not in it anymore. It was the most mind-boggling experience, other than me shooting out of my dick. And that's not even. I got so many stories to tell you how I left my body and what I've seen. It's gonna blow your freaking minds. Hi, Fiona. I'm Rob, by the way. Rob Richard. it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I've been watching your videos for years. I comment on your stuff all the time. I love your moon videos. You're awesome. I, I, but everybody in our community is awesome. I mean, except for the fakes, and the trolls. But I point them out easily. All you got to do is take the time to click on the icon. I feel it most of the time. When I read something that they say, it just don't click with me at all. And I'll know right away that it's a bot. You know what I mean? It's just that I have that innate ability to detect bullshit within a mile. So I recently attempted to leave my body again here. Well, I didn't want to leave my body. I just wanted to make contact with a certain individual. And as soon as I tried to leave my body, they blew the near one of the neurons in your mind. It's mind boggling. Whenever you go to cross that density line from the fourth into the fifth, they have the ability to blow a neuron, a synapse that's helping you. I don't know what you do. You bypass something to get out. Well, they blew it up again. When they blow it, it feels like you got cobwebs all through your face. I mean, you literally got to pull cobwebs out of your face. It's like the black goo, and the black goo is very, very freaking real because it was in me, and I had them. I refused it, and I told them to get it out of me. And when they pulled it out of me, my arms looked like two freaking jellyfish like this. It was mind-boggling. It pissed me off because they tried to sneak me into that pit of hell without me knowing. They were taking my thoughts and my music abilities and putting them in their songs and releasing it, publishing it, while I'm sitting here piss poor, and they're out touring with my shit coming out of my head. That was enough of that. You better believe it. I have the ability to talk to the DJ that's making the music that I'm listening to on the other side. I can talk to his higher self in the grid. And you better believe it. It can happen. And it will happen. I believe that's one of the reasons why I'm here, is to show you, amongst other things. There's no doubt about it, folks. I've been being attacked since I was a very young child. My father was a drunk. I never had any kind of guidance. My whole life was just a ramble. I I don't know what I was running from or to, but for years, for like since I was 15 to I turned 28, that's all I did was travel. I was all over this planet. I was in Maui. I was in Hawaii. I took the glass bottom boat tour through Pearl Harbor. I seen all those Chinese men crying like babies. The volcano there is sacred. It, it emits frequencies of the heart. It's a very sacred place. And they burn it down for greed. They're going to take everybody's land, build their own condos on it, charge an astronomical amounts to go see the fish. Well, I got news for you. You are the fish. I'm ready to fight. Anybody else want to join me? I One of the constant messages I get from them on the other side, though, and I don't believe it's coming from the benevolent entities. I believe this is coming from the malevolent ones. That they want coexistence. They want to coexist with us. I will not coexist with a child molesting, blood drinking, murdering, lying, thieving piece of fucking shit. Period. Frozen. Can you see me, guys? Hello? Am I still alive? Can you hear me? I don't know what frozen means. Brown peanuts. Nice to meet you, anyways. You still there, Fiona? Oh, sorry. 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 I just get a little frustrated I'm discovering exactly who and what and why I am. I'm telling you, when I first discovered, by the way, there's no coincidences. My son Billy, he did all the research. He discovered this before he even turned me on to it. I mean, I've had experiences with when I lived in Texas. I've sat in the field down there and watched shrooms grow right out of the patties, and I've seen, I've talked to plants. I've had entire conversation with ferns. I've complete conversations with trees. They'll talk to you. They're all energy. It's time. I can't tolerate it anymore. The political parasites, these cops, they're. When I went into that parole office the other day, yeah, Little Wing. One of my strangest ever was a lucid dream I had where I was floating above Ezekiel's wheel inside the wheel. I've seen it. I was hovering above it. And every time the wheel would come back around, it would have another, it looked like Egyptian hieroglyph in it, and it would shoot a beam of light into me. Boom. And I'm watching this thing, and as it spun, the other wheel would come around, and another boom, it would hit me with light. And I'm sitting there watching this thing. I guess my subconscious was taking in this knowledge that it was feeding me. And out of nowhere came a plasma ball from behind me and hit me so hard that it actually felt like the stun gun that I just got shot with last week by the state policeman. He tased me. It kind of felt like that, and it shot me up out of my bed like you wouldn't believe it. And my heart was beating so fast, and it was the most realistic, mind-boggling lucid dream I ever had in my life, amongst others. And that happened right after I got that. The night I got that dream catcher tattooed on my arm, I had that lucid dream that I was above Ezekiel's wheel inside the wheel. And it wasn't a dream because it happened. I was on the other side in the astral watching this machine, and the entity or entities that are trying to take over this, I call it a matrix because it might be a big rock floating in space, but it wouldn't be anything without the light and the matter generators. The matter the generators take the light and turn it into matter. And I believe that's what's going to happen. That's a cool dream. Flying around the steeple of the church, looking down, huh? Yeah. The church isn't what you think it is. Hi, Brown Peanuts. Manchester, England. Is that where you at, Fiona? Cool. On the other side of the pond. You want to come to America for a while? We still got our guns here. That's the only good thing about this place. Believe it or not, I think that's the only thing keeping them from attacking right now, because we got our guns. But without a doubt, folks, my life has been the biggest sci-fi movie that's ever been created. The things I've seen and experienced from other beings throughout the universe is absolutely mind-boggling. I have multiple time loss, weekends gone. Go out on a Friday night and wake up in my bed on Monday or Tuesday morning and don't have any kind of recollection of where I was, what I was doing, or how I got even home. Fiona, you got a place to rest your head. You ever get to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania? I promise you that. We'll pitch a tent and have some good conversation. But hi, Chris. Come on, you want to say hi, Fiona? Come on. Prissy wants to join the conversation, but she won't jump up. Come on, Press. You want to join? What? Big baby. As I was saying, I'm not going to coexist with this. I'm not going to tolerate this kind of. These people, they're like Nazis. I mean, when I walked in there the other day, they tried to fingerprint me for shit that happened 15 years ago. I was like, they said, you do what we're do. You do what we tell you to do, or we're gonna send you right over to the prison. So that's how they. Okay, little wing, I will. I promise you. We'll do this again real soon because we have to put a plan together and figure out a way on how to trip these things up for a little while until we can figure out how to get rid of them. But yeah, I will do this again real soon. And we're almost an hour into this, so I guess it went far enough for now. But just so you all know, and one thing before I go to the family that I went off on for I don't even know why I don't even remember it. But if you see this video, I want you to know that I sincerely apologize for my actions and my tongue. I'm just thankful nobody got hurt because usually sometimes there's an assault involved when they do this to me. But I am extremely sorry from the bottom of my heart. I apologize. And as for you all better wake up. These things are here. They've made it very clear to me that they're taking it, whether you like it or not. So my higher self's out of the grid now. So the only thing I got is the crew flying around up top of me, and I don't know exactly what the hell to do to confer with them other than all I got to do is speak in my head and they'll dance for me, but I can't get no answers out of them and I can't get them to land. So we got to work on that. So if anybody out there has any ideas on how we can make this go forward, I'd be interested in hearing. But anyways, much love, many blessings, and peace to you all. I pray you all find the real creator of the universe. Much love, everybody. Say hi, Chris. Bad cat. What are you doing?